Hi guys, I'm Kate. Welcome back to my channel, and today I want to talk about what you do after you type the end on your first draft. I've been writing first drafts for years. Partly through NaNoWriMo and partly on my own. The problem I had for a long time was that I could never move past the end. I would finish the first draft and then I'd never look at it again. I would tell myself that I was going to revise it and I was going to edit it, but it never happened. And so now, after I've been able to do it a couple of times, I want to help anyone out there who had the same problem I did. It's like about 10 steps to really help you move from the first draft to the second and third drafts. So the first caveat is that this is how I have done it. It's been successful for me, and hopefully at least some of it can maybe help you guys. That would be awesome. So the first step is, as soon as you have typed the end, or like me, when you've gone back to the middle and filled that in. Anyways, once you've finished your first draft, to write a list of things you already know that you want to change. And because I have done this recently, I'm going to show you too. This is the list of things I wrote that I wanted to change in my superhero story. Some of them are small things, some of them are bigger. Just jot down the notes as soon as you're done with your first draft, just things that you can remember that you want to change, that you want to add in, you want to get rid of, whatever. Make the notes now. The second step is to print out what you have written. I like to bind mine. You can get it done for like, I don't know, 10 bucks maybe. I think it's less than that. At like an Office Max or an Office Depot, a Staples, things like that. Go ahead and print it out, or you can print it out at your home computer. I just think it helps that after you've been typing it for the first time, it helps to kind of see it in this printed out version. The key here though is you're not going to look at it. So print it out, don't look at it. So the third step is to get a reviewer. Ideally this is someone who reads a lot. They don't necessarily need to be another writer, but I'm sure it helps. Plus that way you can exchange your works and it's better for everyone. This is my copy, and this is the copy I gave my first reviewer. So once you've given them a printed out copy, there's also a list of questions that I think are super important to answer, because you don't want them to focus on grammar issues yet. That is not where we want to go with this. What we want to go with is like characterization, the plot structure. Do we like the narrator? Do we think any of the characters could go away? Are any scenes not important? I have an entire list of questions I will link down below that I gave my first reviewer. I think they were super helpful for me to narrow down what I really wanted to focus on with this next revision, and I think they were helpful for her because she hadn't revised or reviewed anything before, and it helped her kind of figure out where I wanted the focus to be. Step number 4 is the easiest and the hardest, which is that you need to wait. Wait 2 months. 2 whole months. Go ahead and write other stories. This is a great way to set up just a cycle of revising and editing and writing and all kinds of things. But you need to wait. As writers, it's really easy to kind of get in our own head about things, and if you wait, that really helps the process. It kind of gets you out of it. So do that. I promise this is the most important step. Wait 2 months after you've printed it out and given it to your friend. Just wait. Your friend, though, can go ahead and start reading. The biggest hint is to kind of tell them ahead of time when you're planning to start reading or when you would like it done by. So just tell them like, hey, I'm going to start revising this 2 months from now. If you could have it back to me by then. This helps set up expectations, and giving them a longer time to look over something is more helpful for everyone. So step number 5 is that after you've waited those 2 months, you're going to read through it. This helps you kind of look at it with fresh eyes, see things that you may not have seen before. Honestly, I think it helps most with seeing things that you like. As writers, we can get really in our head and kind of down about things and being like, this is the worst thing that's ever been written, ever. And it's not. It's probably not. I promise you, it's not that bad. When you go back over it, you may actually enjoy it. That is what you want. I mean, you'll see the things that need improvement, of course, but actually enjoying the story, that's really, really cool. So step 6, as you're going through your printed out copy, is to make notes as you go along. You can use that same link down below for yourself to see which parts that you want to focus on. Is it the characterization? Is it the plot structure? Is it all of it? So really go ahead and just kind of check things off as you go. Or do like I do and make notes on the pages. That's why the printed out copy really helps, and it's nice to see it in a different medium than you wrote it, because you probably wrote it on your computer. It's nice to have the next draft kind of printed out so that you can make notes with your hands. So I wrote notes directly on the page, and I also wrote notes at the end of the chapter. I do this in different colors. This is just how I like to do it. The green is when I was doing it myself. The pink was when I was reviewing it with my first reader. Which brings me to the 7th step, which is meet with your reviewer, meet with your reader, meet with your friend, your family member, your other writer friends, meet with whoever you gave this copy to and see what they thought. Go over the notes together, go over if they wrote any chapter notes, go over those. And then if you had any questions that you were curious about, like you didn't know if a character was coming off the way you wanted them to, you didn't know if the writing style was the most suitable for the story, anything like that, this is the time to ask your reader friend what they thought. Really pick their brain, write notes as you go. These are the notes I wrote at the very end of the story. And then these are the notes I wrote when I was meeting with my reviewer. So the best part about this is that you do want some overlap. If you saw any deficiencies in the story and your reader noticed the same, that's awesome. That means that is something that you can correct, you can change. You actively saw it because you waited those 2 months. This is the time to note those down. If there's anything that you disagree on that your reviewer was suggesting or they thought didn't make sense, but you have an ultimate reason for it, you don't necessarily need to make every change that your reviewer says. Kind of know where to go with the flow and where to go your own way. So the 8th step is the actual process of beginning to write the second draft or draft 2.5 or whatever you want to look at it. This is when you're adding chapters, deleting scenes, merging 2 characters into one. This is when you're really delving into your story and making it better. This is assuming you have an outline. If you haven't had an outline at this stage, go ahead and make an outline, a chapter by chapter outline, or a scene by scene outline, however you best like to think of it. And that way you can kind of move things around, see what is important, see what isn't important based off of the notes you and your reviewer made before. The 9th step is once you've added, once you've deleted, once you've merged, once you've done whatever you needed to do, go ahead and do a very, very, very quick line edit. This doesn't need to be in-depth. It's not necessarily moving commas and periods and doing all this important stuff, but you're going to be sending it out to more people this time. So just try and make it as close to where you want it to be as possible. You don't need to make this the most perfect draft ever created. Spend just a little bit of time going over it, going through it, making sure the flow and the tempo and everything work. But don't focus on it too much. This 9th step should not be taking you that long. This isn't the most important part of this draft yet. Once you've gotten it to a place that you feel confident in, then you have the 10th step, which is send it to more people. Print it out again, change first to second, and you're ready to go. This is where you send it to more people. Send it to the person who reviewed it the first time just to see if they're okay reading it over once more and see if they feel like it's an improvement over the first one. This is also the other most important part where you are waiting another month. Just wait. Just do. This is important. I promise waiting is important. So go ahead, wait another month, wait another 2 months if that works better for all of your reviewers, and then you will be ready to read and go over for your 3rd draft. Alright guys, those are 10 steps for how to get beyond the first draft. I hope it's helpful for you. If you need help actually getting to the place where you're comfortable writing the end, which I know is where a lot of people get stuck, and I know I did for a really long time, let me know down below and I'll see if I can make another video about that. Alright, thanks for watching guys. Bye! My socks don't match this time.